You and I are really good at what we do. We are good at ministry, we are good at gatherings, and we are especially good at ministry during or in those gatherings. Unfortunately, we are in a time during this COVID-19 when we as believers cannot gather in our South African context. We are in full lockdown. There's some encouraging rumors that maybe we might come together in a month's time or so under strict conditions, but there's no guarantee. This could go on for some months. Also, we're not sure if there's a upflare of COVID-19 cases and we can go back into lockdown. So our ministry skills in gatherings are suddenly not effective, and we are not sure how long it will be this way. So during the lockdown, when we cannot gather, there's basically three spaces that we can utilize for ministry. The first one is what I call our telecommunication space. Now that's your space where you can directly speak to somebody one-on-one or in small groups, whether it be calls, whether it be SMSs, messaging platforms, FaceTime, Zoom meetings, whatever. The fact is, it's a space that we can utilize to minister to people one-on-one or in small groups, and we can use it for relationship building and relationship sustaining. The second space is our digital or virtual space. I'll be calling it our digital space, and that's typically where we are broadcasting our message. Now that could be Facebook, Instagram, radio, TV, YouTube, whatever you choose. The fact is, somehow we are getting the message out. What I find is that most of us ran to that space immediately and just making sure we get our message out. Now it's important, but make sure you do not forget the telecommunication space, because that is where we actually have connection with the people in a more personal way. These two platforms have to be interlinked, and you have to let them dovetail with each other to get the maximum from them. But keep in mind what they are for. The telecommunication space, utilize it primarily for relationship. The digital space, utilize it primarily for broadcasting the message. The third space, often neglected one, but perhaps the most important one, is the spiritual space. Now that space is the space where we engage with God and we are refilled, we are inspired, we are led by the Spirit, and our capacity to minister also in the next other two spaces are enlarged and strengthened. But it's not just a place where we are filled to minister effectively, it's also an effective ministry space where we can intercede for our people. And I get the sense that we are not using, as I speak to many pastors, this space properly. There's a lot to be done there, where we engage in intercession, especially during this time. I know this is a space that any time during our ministries, even during gatherings, is important. It's hugely important, but perhaps even more so during this time where we need to pray for our people and pray specifically and pray in a focused way for our people so they can be sustained and God can do in their life what He wants to do in their lives. I hope this just points somebody in some direction, spark an idea, because if your to-do list is the same as it was 2 or 3 months ago, if your strategy is the same, chances are you're in some deep trouble. Your to-do list has to change. Your strategy has to reflect these three spaces and how to optimize these three spaces so that you can effectively minister in these funny times. If you want to explore these three spaces some more with me, feel free to register for our upcoming webinar, and you're welcome to invite anybody else that you think might find value in discussing these three spaces. God bless.